Hi guys, it's me Joy, and today I will be doing an ink test. And I'm using all the inks I have, and I'll be testing it with this stamp that has a very solid image on it so that, I don't know, it tests better. And the first one I'll be testing with is the Studio Calico Color Theory ink, and this is in inky black. I'm trying to pick the darkest colors so that we can see how it shows up on the Hobonichi. And as you can see, that's how it's stamped out. And I'm gonna flip the page, and I put that paper there so that it won't get onto the other page, it won't transfer. And it bleeds. The Studio Calico inks bleed, and they are a dye ink, and most of the dye inks I tested do bleed. You could probably do like second generation stamping to get a better result. Next, I tried the Mama Elephant, and I only have one color in smoke, so it's kind of unfair because it's a light ink, but there's no bleeding at all on those Mama Elephant inks, and they're pigment. As you can see the difference, there's just like a light shadowing. Next, I will try the VersaColor in charcoal, and I think this is a pigment ink. I wasn't sure, I didn't really look into it that much, but I feel like it's a pigment ink because it sits on the top and it does bleed, but I feel like this is a brand new pad, so the juicier the pad is, I would say don't put too much ink on it, but just like a little bit, or stamp it off to the side on another piece of paper and then try it that way. This is my favorite ink, the Versamagic ink. It doesn't bleed for me. The only complaint I have for the Versamagic ink is that it takes forever to dry, like all things on the Hobonichi, because the paper is just like such a unique paper, but it definitely doesn't bleed, and that is a very dark ink, so you could see a little bit of shadowing. Next is the Versafine ink, and this one is kind of a pigment, but yet it's also a dye-based pigment or something like that, so it does bleed, unfortunately. And if it wasn't for the Hobonichi, the Versafines are my favorite because they're just so make stamps so detailed. Next, I tried the Colorbox, the like rainbow style kind of ink, and I tried to put it on the darkest colors to see what would happen, and this also bled. I think because I stamped it, I put a lot of ink on it, like it bled a teeny bit, but I think if you put a light hand when you're putting the ink on there, it will be okay. So the two that didn't bleed are the Mama Elephant and the Versamagic, but I will test some other ones for you that I knew would bleed anyway. This is the Distress Inks from Tim Holtz. This one bled like crazy, like it was so wet, like you can see it super bleeds. It even got onto my shitajiki, and I also tried the Simon Says Stamp ink, and it also bled like crazy, super bleeds. Um, so these dye inks definitely are not made for the Hobonichi because they're made to absorb into the paper. So you could see me wiping down my pencil board. And lastly, I tried the Hero Arts because a lot of people have a ton of these Hero Arts inks, and this is the only color I have, I think, in Hero Arts, and it's very light. It's a mint green, but it like completely soaked through. So word of advice, don't use Hero Arts at all on the Hobonichi unless you do like maybe third generation stamping even on these, because they bleed like crazy. So I separated them into categories. The ones that worked the best were the Mama Elephant and Versamagic. The one that works second best is the Colorbox and the VersaColor, but make sure that when you use those two to put a little bit of ink. You don't need a lot because it's very pigmented as it is. And lastly, the ones that don't work are all the dye inks. I'm not even gonna list them all because it's just not a good idea. I mean, you could try it and just do third generation stamping, but I must warn you, those will definitely bleed. And I hope this helped you guys a lot because I've been getting a lot of questions on this. So have a good night. Bye, guys.